got this.
What is it? It's your add something.
So you're trying this. Walmart calls it a low quad or something?
It's sour.
That one's sour too?
Yeah.
Yeah, this shouldn't be too sour.
Maybe my taste buds are just messed up. Oh.
Could be.
Growing all
It's like
over.
a sour pear, kind of. It's a little sour.
Oh, here comes a bushy cat. Comes a bushy cat. It's a bushy cat right there. It's a bushy cat. All right, that looks pretty out there. Look at that. Look at that. It's so pretty. Look at those lights. Wow. Wow. Whoa, whoa. An apple right there. Whoa. Whoa. Apple. More apple. Whoa. Apple. Apple. Whoa. Goodness. That's some Christmas decorations right there. What? Whoa. What? Apple. What? Whoa. What time is it? Whoa. Apple. Looking pretty. What? More apple. 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 I'm about to share with you how I was able to provide the things that I provided for my family with all the hard work that I have started since 1989, just working hard and saving money aside. And then something really amazing happened when I made a decision in 1994. So let's get to that. Right now in this video, I'm going to share with you how I made the money that I have made over the last 8 years, because it was the most significant amount of money that I've earned during that time, and it allowed me to do so many things. And I'm going to let you know exactly what I'm talking about and where that money was coming from and how that helped me build my future. And it all goes back to when I was in school, and I'm talking elementary and middle school and even into high school. There were the computers there, and they were Apple IIc, Apple IIe computers. And back then, in the late 80s, I was so impressed by the graphics, the sound, just the advanced technology that was provided by Apple. And the schools had apples all over the place, and I wonder why. And with that said, I was just thinking, what if I ever worked for Apple? I would become rich, because back then I was thinking of how big the company will become. And when I ended up in high school, my very first job was a technology electronics retail store. It was a competitor because they had products from Tandy, and they had the Tandy computer, but still the Apple was way more advanced, okay? And I was sold on Apple at that time. And I had some friends, not a whole lot of friends, because I was very selective of who I let be my friends even back then. But some of my friends who were friends of mine back in high school and elementary, some of them actually moved out this way, and kept in touch, and some moved some other places where I had been in the past, and keep in touch still once in a while. But one thing I want to let you know is that dreams can come true, and sometimes just making an investment can make so many things happen for you and your family, and you don't even know what's going to happen, because not everything is predictable. But right here, this is what it used to look like when you invested in stocks back in the 90s. Now these days when you invest in stocks, you don't get certificates like this, because right here is an Apple certificate from a stock that I invested in back in 1994. Now parts of this are blurred out for obvious reasons, but 1994, okay, I had purchased 12,500 shares of this stock, okay, of Apple. Now you probably wondered, well, how much did it cost? But before we get to that, it was a friend of mine who suggested, hey, you should invest in Apple. It's like they just were all about Apple and told me that, hey, you need to jump on Apple. He sees big things happening, and he's also as invested in stocks, and he's able to live his life without even working for anybody because he made some investments in stocks. So he lives off his investments that he made from stocks that he sold. So, you know, I took his advice, and after all those years of working, because when I was in Jersey, I was working, for a company that sold Tandy products, and then I ended up working in a rehabilitation center for the elderly. So it was like a nursing home, and that was really good money. I was doing that for some time, and then I moved south and ended up getting into the same kind of work, the same line of business, working in a similar environment where I was making pretty good money. And I was just saving money aside and saving money aside. Then I ended up getting into the automotive parts retail, and I ended up doing that on the side and working other jobs and just saving and saving and saving. And in the beginning, I was with my parents living, but then I ended up moving out on my own, and I was saving up more money. But it got to the point where I felt like I just needed to invest. But I didn't know what to invest in. I was going to invest in real estate, and then my friend says, hey, invest in Apple, and I did. And you know how much money I invested in Apple to get 12,500 shares of Apple? I only invested in $2,500. $2,500 got me 12,500 shares. Now, you know what that's worth today if I didn't sell so many shares over the years? Because I'm going to explain that situation. It would be worth over $2 million if I were to have not sold it all. Well, I didn't sell all of it. I still have some left. But if I were to not have been selling every few years to provide for my family and help grow my business, I would have had a lot more. But you cannot predict things. But in 1994, I invested in $2,500 worth of Apple shares. And at that time, it was only 20 cents a share. 20 cents a share for Apple stock. Okay, that's like, how in the world 20 cents a share Apple stock, 20 cents, that's what it was. But anyway, I was saving onto it, I was watching it grow, and like, it was around September of 2013. I looked at it and said, holy crap, it went up to like $17 a share. All right, and I'm thinking, $17 a share. It was 20 cents a share. Now $17. That's a significant difference, right? So back then, I was like, you know what? I want to put some money into doing my business and trying a different business. And so I decided to do that, and then I ended up cashing out some of my shares and putting some of that into moving into a bigger house, which was something I did back then. And then this house ended up being kind of a creepy, haunted kind of house. It seemed like it anyway. But I did that, and that money definitely helped. And, like I said, my business with web designing and e-commerce, all that was combined. So when you add it all together, it was really working in my favor. And things were just doing really well, and I was able to provide for my family beyond like my wildest imagination. We're able to go places, travel, and have fun. All because I got a big jump start because of Apple stock. Now, I eat apples. I eat apples a lot. I'm all about apples because of Apple stock right here. I eat apples. It's good stuff. But it was back in June of 2015, and this right here, the Apple stock went up to about $32 a share back in June 2015. So it was almost double. And at that point, I was like, man, I need to cash out some. And at that point in my life, it's like I was kind of looking for a different place to live. I was getting tired of where we were. It was kind of like, I don't know. I just want to own my own house instead of renting, because we were renting that place. It was a really big place, and with the advantage of cashing out some of my stocks, I was able to have a collection of cars, even though they were financed, but it helped with down payments and stuff. And so that really made things very doable for me. So this whole Apple thing just gave me the biggest jump start in my life ever, especially in the last 8 years. And so, yeah, I ended up cashing out some more of this at $32 a share back in 2015. It was, June? I think it was June 2015, somewhere around there. And, yeah, started looking for a place and found a place. And it was a little bit later, some months later, and things changed from there. Things changed. And then 2017, Apple share was about $43 a share. I cashed out some more. Had a lot of taxes I had to pay and other things, and I was doing real well with everything else. Like my other sources of income was between the e-commerce and just my web designing, and I was starting to do some computer repair stuff, and my Google websites, and I had some faceless YouTube channels that were just like my educational material about healthy eating, healthy things, technology, and it was just basically informative stuff that was just created solely by me, and it was getting good revenue, but it wasn't like the biggest thing ever, but it was pretty good for what it was. And so all those sources combined really helped. And we had like YouTube videos, like and family videos, but they really didn't have much monetization because YouTube's always been strict about that kind of stuff. So got a lot of views, but it wasn't really a whole lot of monetization, especially doing the creepy, scary stuff, that clown stuff, and even the paranormal. At some point, it was good, and then boom, it failed. As far as trying to be a financial advantage, it was good for growing a channel, getting views, but look at it that way. Those things didn't really have much of a financial edge. It was my investment in Apple that made things really happen, and I just poured money into my business, and I just kind of kept it on the low down. I didn't really tell anybody except for one person, and that was a friend of mine who I've known that actually got me into this. But then it was in 2019, it's like November 2019, the stock, Apple stock went up to like $65 a share. I ended up cashing out some more, okay? And then I went to Florida, and I was staying there for a while, and then, just trying to take care of business. Did a little bit of that. And all because of this. And like, you don't have these, they don't have stock certificates anymore. That's like a thing of the past. Now it's like you go in online on your broker website or all these other broker websites, and you just pick your stocks and boom, it's it. But back then it was a phone call to your broker. It was they still have some electronic ways of doing it, and or you stand on the floor. You stand on the floor by a billboard, and you're just out there with a whole bunch of people. But that's kind of becoming phased out, right? So now it used to be that, and then paper. Now it's just fully on your computer. I don't even think you can get any of these from Apple anymore. I don't think you can get them from anybody anymore. But that's how it was. And then August 2020, yes again, I cashed out on some more, and it was around $127 a share back then. And I was able to go to Florida, stay places for a little bit longer, and then I also invited my daughter and some friends there, and we stayed at this beautiful resort there. So there were so many things I was doing, plus I was looking for work and looking for a place to stay, another house. And back in 2019, when I cashed out some, I was looking for a house that I was going to buy and then do an Airbnb. And then the pandemic happened shortly after that. But at that point, still it didn't hit me that hard yet. But then I did end up cashing out on a lot more back in the, 2020 to take care of other bills. And you know what I'm left with right now? 80 shares of Apple. 80 shares, and I took a screenshot of that. And I just want to share with you what 80 shares looks like. Now, the price comparison on the 80 shares right there, the price comparison on the 80 shares is that when you see the extra 5, they're comparing that from the day before, like what the stock was at. You know, they compared what the stock was looking like the day before. So there was a $5 gain over the previous days of the stock. So that's all I got is 80 shares left, okay? 80 shares left of Apple stock, and that's it. I can't believe that I went from freaking 12,500 shares to only having 80 shares now. But I wouldn't have been able to provide the lifestyle for my family, the traveling, the home. You know, I think there's a misunderstanding exactly where my funding came from. You know, people like your friends, your family get confused, because I'm the kind of person, I don't like to just talk about everything, and sometimes I might just blurt out some misinformation because I'm trying not to bring light to having stock, or I still have it, but you know, because I always feel like people are just going to think, oh, well, you're lazy, you just got it easy because you invested in stocks, so you didn't even work so hard to be able to do that. And I want my family to be proud of me, and you know, I just want my friends to be proud of me, and that's just how that went. But still, I've worked so hard, and I still work so hard to have what I have. But like I said, having that investment in Apple stock really did help me. It was an advantage. It helped me get to where I needed to be in life, because it helped go towards my business. It helped me succeed because I needed the money. Like money, you know, you have to put money into your business in order to make your business better, right? So without the money, it's like, how are you going to fund your business, right? So that's how it is. So right there, I got to keep blurring this out. I'm going to be busy blurring stuff out. But right there, like I said, this is a copy of it, because if that was the actual one, it means I would have access to over $2 million. No, I had copied this when I first got it. Like, I had it copied, okay? When I first got this, and I put it in my safe with the actual one, because there was two. There was the actual original copy and a copy. Well, when I started to sell some stocks, well, you know, kind of had to let go. But that's just how things are. You know what I mean? I miss the days where we traveled and went places. I feel like I kind of lost touch of that, but those were the days right there. So that's where the majority of my income came from over the last 8 years, because that's when I started cashing out on that investment. So to clear up the confusion of some of you out there, like, oh, it's all about this or that, like some of you have this misconception that has something to do with, like, you know, my success had to do with YouTube. Like, I just want to clear that confusion up, because that's not the case. Like I said, just because you had a lot of views doesn't mean anything, especially when you're not being monetized fully. And it's like, other people are. The only thing that ever really worked out was a couple of brand deals. Other than that, it was the other things. It was kind of, I think I made it look better than it was, just because I wanted everybody to be proud and happy, and I just didn't want to bring attention to the whole stock market thing, you know, because some people think it's like, oh, you're gambling, but that's not how I look at it. I look at it as an investment for your future. I mean, I was going to invest in real estate, and I did do a little bit of that in the past, and ended up selling some, but that's just how that is. But I thought I would bring you into my world to get you just bring you a little bit further into detail of how things went and how I was able to do the things that I have been able to do over the past 8 years at least. Well, I was able to do a lot of things because of my business in itself, but in the last 8 years, it was that big boost, that big jump start, and that had to come from somewhere. And some people were confused about where that came from, but now that I let the cat out of the bag, or can I say the bushy cat, for some who might know what I'm talking about, I revealed that, yes, Apple and I go way back to school
And if 1994 was when I made the biggest investment, $2,500 into Apple stock, that got me 12,500 shares at 20 cents a share. Now think about the differences of how, like, it's crazy how it can go up so much over those years. And part of me is like, why the hell did I sell over like this a couple years down the road, then a few more years and a couple years down? Why didn't I just hold on to it in this, keep on holding and see what happens? Because like right now, Apple's at $171 a share, and imagine what it's going to be next year. I'm thinking it's going to be around $230 next year. And then think about the year after. That much, those many shares could be about $4 or $5 million. I'm ready to kick myself in the ass. But you know, it is what it is. But still, I come out pretty good because of it. But I just, sometimes I wish I would have held a little longer, you know, because it's like this. You cannot predict those things. And hey, it looks, you know, you look at 20 cents and you look at, oh my gosh, whoa, it's up at $17 now. So when you look at that, it's like, wow, it's a big difference. Then you look again, it's like $32. Holy crap, $32. Then it's $43. Like, oh my gosh, $43. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Then it's $65. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And then all of a sudden it's $127 this year. Like, you know, your mind's going like, what if you didn't sell any at 17, didn't sell any at $32, if you didn't sell any at $43, you didn't sell any at $65, and you just held on to it and sold it at $127? Or wait a minute, don't even sell it at $127, just keep holding. I wouldn't be in this house right now if I kept holding, because you have to cash it out in order to use the money. All right, that's the situation. But what I got to do right now is I got to go in the garage and see what's happening in there, because there has been things happening in there. I've been hearing noises. Lights have been flickering. Lights in the basement are flickering. We're hearing banging. I know it's kind of crazy. The wind has been blowing pretty strong around here, so maybe we have some issues with that. And I did get a letter from the electric company saying there's some, you know, insurance I can add on to my electric, you know, whatever. So yeah, I don't know. But there's an inside of my world, aka Bobby's World. But I can't say Bobby's World because somebody owns that name, right? So what am I gonna do? I'm so confused. My original plan was to hold on to this and then cash it out when I was at retirement age. But I wanted to just have that time with my family and grow my business and just experience life in a way where I can be with my kids without having to hire a babysitter. So that was one of the biggest reasons why I ended up cashing this out before I was at retirement age. I know I'll probably get some of the questions like, well, how come you're having financial troubles if you had all those shares in Apple since '94? The thing is, like I said, I sold those shares before they really amounted to a lot more like they are now. And that's a trade-off, to have time with family and be able to put money into my business. And nobody knew about the pandemic coming in, and it just came. So those were things. I mean, I do have 80 shares left, but now that's in my retirement, and I can't touch that. So I end up selling my Corvette to try to take care of some more expenses and bills and medical bills and taxes and Christmas and all that. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify that, because I wanted to share that with you about the whole Apple thing, because that's been something that I've been just keeping to myself and one other person for all those years. It is crazy. And I just thought, you know what? You guys should hear about it, because I am so enthusiastic about Apple. I keep up with Apple products. Why? Because Apple. Because I'm invested in Apple. I gotta finish cooking my stuff. All right, it seems we're experiencing some kind of technical difficulty with this device here, the AI. I don't know what's happening. Malfunctions. But anyway, today is, it's Tuesday, December 7th, 2021. And I'm just glad I was able to have this time to share with you something very personal when it came to how I was able to do what I was able to do. We don't know what's going on with this. It's not working.
What?
The device.
Oh, I know. I don't know why. She's being a little biatch.
Yeah. It says server's unresponsive. Does that mean we're gonna have no lights going on outside? I gotta see what's happening out here. We got Christmas lights out here. Cause guess who put Christmas lights out here? Okay, I'm literally locked in the house. I can't get outside. Okay.
Well.
All right, what happened out here? Why is it so friggin' cold? What in the world? All right, so we got Christmas decor going on. See, look at that, look at that. Oh, isn't that nice? You got some Christmassy stuff going on. Oh, yeah.
This phone, yeah.
All right, we got to figure out what's going on here. Christmassy out there.
What?
The Christmas.
No!
Oh, no.
Why does it do that?
Can't get out. Well, good thing there's no, like, fire.
Do that?
Imagine if there was a fire, we'd be in trouble.
Yeah, I know.
I gotta have to fix that. All right. You know, I want to do my walking, but if I do walking, I need to get a, what do you call it on? I gotta get something warmer on. That's all I can think of right now. I gotta get something warmer. Thank you for being here, watching this video. It took a lot out of me to just say these things and open up because, you know, I've always been a hard worker and very successful at what I do. And there were some miscommunications going on with people close to me. And I just wanted to just clarify a lot of things with you guys because I get the comments, I get the questions, and, you know, I just wanted to finally just bring some more clarity because, yeah, it's not like it's common for someone to go from a certain level of income and all of a sudden in the last 8 years there's this big surge. It's like, what happened? It's because I invested in some good stocks and it was Apple back in 1994. And that's what happened. And I was selling a little bit here and there. And then my business, you combine the business on top of that. So it's just multiple sources of income put together. And that's the way it is. Anyway, I gotta go make something to eat. I'm starving. I hope everybody stays safe. Smash the like button on this video if you like this content. I want to go exploring places. I have a friend who might be coming to visit and stay for a while, and we'll be doing some exploring, so that'll be some fun stuff. And the New Year's will be here before we know it. I mean, it's right around the corner.